Okay, welcome back to the Homestand Show. Albert Vartanian. We are now joined by Noor Zainab of Hoop Talks. Justin Pooney, my co-host, across from me with a nice big smile.
It's been a minute since you've been in the studio.
I know. It's by plan. Did you know that?
You guys are back. Sure no fighting yet. We're going to start fighting soon. So Gary Trent Jr.
Dude.
Option to his player option. He's staying with the Raptors, at least for this upcoming season. It sounds like, according to Michael Grange, as I mentioned earlier, of Sportsnet, that the Raptors and Gary Trent are working on an extension that could be done as soon as July. Your initial reaction to this news that broke today?
I think this was we definitely saw a move happening with Beal, with Chris Paul, all those things. But when it came to Gary Trent and the Raptors, everybody thought that there's no way he's gonna opt out. He's gonna see what the market's like for him, what the money's out there. Maybe even negotiate his contract, negotiate his years, see what's out there. But the fact that he just opted right in, to me, it's very surprising. But it also shows that he went out and he said that maybe it could be a factor of it wasn't the best season for him. He wants to come back again next season and then maybe work out on his stats, make them better, make his market a lot bigger than it was maybe this off season. But at the same time, he also told his manager, Rich Paul, that he wanted to stay in Toronto. So now I gotta wonder, is Masai cooking something where everyone's kind of staying back?
Did he really want to stay in Toronto, or was the market not there for Gary Trent?
I think
and also,
it's more
what a
so
great
like
time. This is players love these types of seasons. It's a season where they have a career year, get paid, and then who knows what happens.
I mean, it all depends on from all reports that we've talked about. He's going to get an extension this summer anyway.
Maybe.
Right? Does Gary Trent, I don't want the extension right now. Bet on myself. I don't know. If I'm an athlete, I want to take that fully guaranteed contract, the money that I can get right there, and then you can work it out. Because chances are it's going to be a 3 to 4 year deal. He's still a young guy.
It's going to be short-term.
If you believe in yourself having a better year.
Exactly.
And I wonder what he's been told about the future of this Raptors team.
Again.
At least this season. You would think he's being told you're going to be an important part of the team.
Yeah.
Exactly.
He's a starter ahead of somebody.
And then also, there's also the cost certainty you get with him with a longer-term contract where, say, they decide to trade him down the road. You won't be able to trade him right away this summer, but have to be I think after January next year they can trade him. There's cost certainty because other teams are going to know what they're going to get with the Gary Trent Jr. contract. But like you said, I don't think they can run it back. It seems that they want to run it back, but I don't.
Maybe not with everybody, but this is the thing where I think the Raptors might have actually valued Gary Trent in the fact that he was really our only shooter next to Fred VanVleet. If you let him go, who else do you got coming on your squad to make sure you get the buckets
which is the big issue.
For sure, but at the same time, he's still someone that can get the bucket in. If you're looking at shooters on the Raptors, the number one guy you will look at is Gary Trent, and then Fred VanVleet maybe next to him. You can even look at them moving the rosters
and
around.
You're not winning anything with that.
You're not. No.
Right?
You need more shooting than that for sure. You need
okay,
more
so let me pose this question. We had a bit of a argument off the air, which I loved.
Of course.
So I believe that Masai thinks this team can win. I don't know if he's going to make some more moves, but I believe there's no rebuild, there's no retool. This is a team that's going to probably try and pursue or try and make the playoffs next season, get past the play-in, yada, yada, yada. Do you think Masai believes in this core players, this whole team, just not under Nick Nurse?
I think this could be a place where he wants to see what this team looks like without Nick Nurse. And is he fair to do that? I would say maybe. Because if you look at this team prior to, this last season was something of kind of almost like a fluke of what they went through, because prior to that last season, they were doing pretty well. They were in the playoffs, 5th seed, playing against Philly and everything else as well. So the last season was just kind of we're not really sure what happened, but we knew that it was something in the locker room because of how there was a lack of chemistry, a lack of camaraderie, a lack of leadership, and it all stemmed from whoever's leading everything. And all the eyes, the signs, the fingers were being pointed at Nick Nurse. And if you have someone there who, in my opinion, if you're a coach and you have the biggest ego in that locker room, that's a problem. So for Masai Ujiri, this might be a factor to see, okay, you know what? I had Nick Nurse there. We got no development. We didn't win anything. We had no culture on the squad either. So let me see what I can do in turning that and flipping that and going the exact opposite route. And Darko, who has got the development under him, who understands the culture and all those things too. So I can see why he's doing this, because you have a good roster. These guys are good players. There's a reason why everybody around the market is salivating at their mouths to get them. But the thing is, Justin, if they're good individually, you need a coach in place to make the best out of them together. Nick Nurse was not that guy. Darko could be that guy. So do I agree with him running it back? No. But do I see why he is? Yes.
Yeah. I don't think he will. I think on the other side of that too, definitely Nick Nurse had an ego and maybe he was the issue. but the players just weren't good enough. They didn't really
Exactly.
perform. 41-41. They are a 500 team.
The
That's
last
exactly
4
what they
years,
are.
we've seen what this team has been the last 4 years.
But you know what happened?
Miss playoff, one playoff series, one in the bubble. They had the bubble. Okay, the bubble year, yes, they had a great year that year after the championship run they had, right? But after that, what have they really done? Like, they
Well, the
surprised.
leadership fell off the first things first, right? Like, you had Kyle Lowry there, and Kyle Lowry left to go elsewhere. And beyond that, you had Fred VanVleet, who the Raptors still want him to be the guy who's, like, leading everything. He's got the keys to the franchise, all that stuff. But Fred VanVleet has had problems with the guys on the roster, too. I don't want to make everything be something that's been off court, but we got to look around the league and the NBA in general and just see how much off-court stuff really trickles on court for these guys. And absolutely, the Raptors are not... They may not be a contending level talent, but what Masai sees in them right now, and let's not forget, it's not just Masai, it's probably a bunch of earpieces behind him from MLSC, Larry, everybody else who's like, well, you got to win. You can figure everything out, figure out what your roster is, but do it at the same time as winning because they have a market to sell and merch to sell.
Yeah, I think there's two things that absolutely need to be addressed for this Toronto Raptors team if you want to become a legit team in the East, or at least a playoff team. One, you need a star. And it's not Pascal Siakam. Number two, you need depth. Do you remember the bench situation last season? To a point where Nick Nurse essentially came out and said, why am I going to play these guys?
Yeah.
There's no point. So you need depth, and you need to figure out who your number one guy is.
And we don't know that.
And I don't think it's going to be Pascal Siakam. I just believe someone's going to move it. We did a show earlier today. And the last time Nick Noach, oh my God.
Nick Noach.
Last time Masai Ujiri fired a coach, it was Dwayne Casey, brings in Nick Nurse, and then makes a very, very impactful trade. I just have a feeling that might be the case.
Let me ask you this. The draft is on Thursday. OG Anunoby, Pascal Siakam. Those are the two names that have been thrown around in a lot of trade rumors.
Yeah.
Are they Toronto Raptors Friday morning?
I think one of them is.
One of them.
Yeah. And I would say OG
Friday
Anunoby.
morning. Wow. That's tough to say.
Out of the two of them, who's going to give you the most return? Pascal Siakam.
I don't know.
I think one of them moves,
I
but
think
probably not before the draft.
Well, the draft is Thursday, right? So Friday morning. Do you think one of them gets dealt by then?
If you're looking at, of course, the Raptors, looking at Masai Ujiri, where he wants to go with this team, and just in terms of the logicness of everything, why would you sway off of OG Anunoby?
Because he can bring you...
Yeah, but
I'm with
Pascal
Nora. You
can
gotta
give
keep
you...
OG.
You keep OG. Pascal can give you way more in terms of what you get in return. And OG fits your timeline no matter what timeline you go down. One second. And no matter what you trade OG for... You're going to want to get OG back one day. You're like, well, Matt, this draft pick could turn into OG. But you got an OG right next to you, so why would you trade that?
OG has a lot of value for a team that's one piece away from winning a championship.
I get exactly, right? And the Raptors have made it very apparent that they want to move up in the draft. They want to move up in the... Pascal Siakam, it looks like that number 3 pick that Portland has, they're fielding offers for. Zion's name's been about there. There's been so many other names that have been thrown around for that 3rd overall pick. Pascal Siakam on the pecking order of what you can get for that is way at the bottom now.
You think OG Anunoby goes over Pascal Siakam?
I think you could trade OG Anunoby for another top 10 pick because some team for example a team like the Dallas Mavericks, a team that is so desperate.
But you're keeping Pascal Siakam, Scotty Barnes, and Jakob Poeltl on one team.
But we don't even know if Jakob Poeltl is going to stay now.
He has to. He's gotta stay.
He can sign some.
Trade a first round pick for him.
He's a free agent. If he wants to play in a winning situation,
if Jakob came here, it's because he's probably going to stay.
Here.
Yeah, no, I'm saying if he's been brought here, he's gonna be the offers they will give him will be the offers to make him stay here because they know what they gave up to get him here.
Look, I think with the way the Toronto Raptors are, they have to shake this up. Right? You can't just run it back with the same starting 5 and bring this back.
And you can do that by trading Pascal. That's your number 1 guy to trade.
I
That's
agree.
Your number 1
I
guy.
agree. But what I say,
why would you trade OG?
At this particular moment, I think you could get more for OG Anunoby because he fits so many different situations. He can fit anywhere. Any NBA team you could put him on. I don't know if Pascal Siakam fits on any NBA team.
If you were going to be a contender and you're telling me OG can go on absolutely defensively, but so can Pascal in both ways, offensively and defensively, and he has a better market gauge out there compared to OG. We haven't even tried to really market and see what's out there for Pascal properly that we had done with OG.
It's interesting.
Pascal's a top 20 scorer in the NBA.
He is, right? He is.
He's going to help a lot of teams.
Exactly. I agree 1,000%.
Look at the Warriors. They could use him right now.
What I'm saying, though, is I think OG could just... You look at any team in the NBA, you stick OG and Anunoby, and instantly they're a better team. instantly they're a better team. Pascal Siakam.
I don't know about that. I think Pascal makes him a better team because OG's more of a defined role kind of a guy. Like OG to me is someone where you have figured out your pieces for your championship team. Now you need a 3-and-D guy. That's how OG. OG doesn't fit in any other team. Then Pascal does, because if you want to send Pascal to even like a rebuilding team, you can get so much out of that. Are you kidding?
I don't know.
OG can't lead that team the way Pascal can. So I'm looking at Pascal.
Pascal doesn't really.
Pascal also makes the most amount of money. Like Pascal should
that could be a deterrent
easily.
then for other teams to take on that salary, because
But
Pascal
that's also the reason why
is
you
also,
should be trading that contract.
But the thing with Pascal is if a team acquires him, they're gonna have to pay him
I
that
can't
max
believe you
money
want to
deal,
trade
right?
OG when you've been the biggest hype man about trading Pascal. That's crazy.
I want to trade
That's
both of them. I say if I'm the Raptors, I'd trade both of them right now. Sell both of them. Just blow this thing up and sell both of them. That's what I really want the Raptors to do.
Why
Then you keep
are
the
you
Gary Trent
blowing
now.
things up though?
Because what is it? Where are you going with this franchise?
But you obviously have pieces, valuable pieces.
Dude, okay, let me
to
ask you
make
guys
moves.
this. Let me
So I
ask
don't
you guys
think
this.
they
You
need to
guys
blow
have
it up.
been Raptors fans your whole life, right? Let me ask you this. Would you rather Raptors blow this up, go young, and then have the chance to become good for years to come, or just keep on running the same old tired thing back and hoping that a new coach will change it, or this guy will evolve into something else? The eye test doesn't lie. The last 4 years, we've seen a Fred VanVleet and a Pascal Siakam-led franchise. You said it yourself. They're a 500 team. Why not change it up, do something different, right? And try to
Personally,
bring a
I
new
don't
era
know
in.
if they're a 500 team with this new coach. It could be different. It really could. But does that mean they're a contender? No. But that also means that they might be further away from tanking than they are to anything
I don't
else.
see a coach
And
bringing
that's
10
why
more wins in, though. I don't see that.
15
Maybe like
seconds.
one
We
or
got
two more
15
wins.
seconds left. We can
We
continue
can
this
see.
conversation another time. I don't think they should blow it up, but they do have some valuable pieces. Thank you, Noor Zainab of Hoop Talks. Coming up after the break, we're going to talk some footy with Sarah Pararia of Room 442.